Cattle aren't just grazers, they are the original recyclers. Grab a glass of milk and join me as I show you how sustainable farming practices are part of the solution and how dairy wants to be part of the solution. My name is Jennifer Beretta. I'm a fourth generation dairy farmer in Northern California. Let's go take a look. My great-grandpa moved our dairy from Petaluma, California to Santa Rosa, California in 1948. The reason for that is he could maximize his nutrient management here in Santa Rosa and utilize those nutrients back on the pasture and our cropland. The dairy may look a little different now, but it was all done with sustainability in mind. I graduated college in 2010 and came back to the dairy to work alongside my dad and my brother. And we are so fortunate to have the fifth generation wanting to do sustainable dairy to keep our farm farming. Let's dive into some of the sustainability practices that we have here at the dairy to grow great grass, to protect our soils, and how we raise great cattle for great milk. Cattle are some of the best recyclers. Here we feed something called okara. This was actually a byproduct from soy noodles. We feed it in a ration that is mixed up. It's high in protein, and without cattle eating stuff like this, it would have gone into a landfill. Cattle are eating things like almond hulls that we as humans can't consume, and it's a great way for nutrients for our cattle. Nothing goes to waste on the dairy. Cows eat feed that us as humans don't, like I mentioned. They produce a great product that we as humans enjoy to consume. And then their manure is used for fertilizer back on our field. And the wash water that we use to wash our barn down and the corral actually is able to be put into our irrigation system for fertilizer as well. All of our wash water that we wash down every day goes into a manure holding pit, which then we can inject it into our irrigation system where those great nutrients go out on our pasture and our cropland. In 2020, we did a methane reduction project where we put in automatic scrapers. These scrapers are running 5 to 6 times a day, keeping our barn floor clean. Put in a separator system that takes the solids from the liquids, and then that solids we use back for compost in our barn for bedding. This saves us diesel fuel from the sand we used to haul in, as well as it's worth about 250 cars off the road with our methane reduction. We also use the compost and other solid manure back on our pasture for nutrients and organic matter. Some other practices we do are no-till seeding, so that means we're not turning over the ground, but we're putting still grasses in to better our soil as well as better our pastures for the cows. A lot of the grasses we use are nitrogen fixers as well as drought resistant. We will also build our own compost using some manure, straw from our bedding from other pens, and I also take this compost and I will get it tested so I know what I'm putting out on our field and what the carbon nitrogen component is. We also share this data with our UC cooperative extensions as they help us with our best practices. We have also upgraded our irrigation system. We used to use all of these handline pipes, and now we actually have upgraded to something called K-lines. 80% now of our irrigation system is done with K-lines, which are more efficient, they distribute water better, and they are supposed to be more efficient during times like drought. For over 30 years, we have not pulled water from the ground. We utilize our city treatment water to irrigate our pastures, and so we are recharging our soils instead of taking from it. In 2024, we actually completed a large solar array. This solar array will capture 97% of our ranch's electricity, and that will do our manure pumps, our separator system, our milk barn, and worker houses. The nutrients from the cows plus the water that we use allow us to grow great pastures, and those pastures sequester carbon, and then in turn our cattle graze them, which is a great sustainable cycle that we have here at the dairy. I hope you've enjoyed learning about Beretta Dairy's sustainability efforts and seeing that our top priorities are our land, the environment, and our animals. Sustainability is not a one-size-fits-all. What happens here on our dairy may not happen on other dairies. It's due to climate, where you're located, and the technologies you may have at hand or don't have at hand. But the industry, the dairy industry, wants to be part of this solution. Here in California, the California dairy industry has reduced methane by over 2.4 million metric tons of CO2, which is equivalent to 525,000 cars off the road. So thank you again for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed watching great pastures, some great land, hearing our story and seeing some really great cows.